I'm Ron Barber, one of the early directors of what is now Child Parent Centers. I came on board in 1971 and was there through 1974. And during that very short period of time, 3 years, we saw a lot of changes. The early days of the Head Start program when I joined it, it was just a one-county program. We had several sites around Pima County. And it was certainly encouragement to hire parents, to train parents, and hire parents as teachers and teacher aides. In 1973, maybe 72, was to see what it would take to have kids with disabilities be part of the regular school or preschool. The whole idea was an early stage of this development, this concept that if we had children with disabilities alongside typical kids, that both would learn. And that's exactly what happened. I'll never forget one scene. And we had one little girl who, I don't know what happened to her arm, but her arm was amputated up to just above the elbow. And I was observing from my office, which would look right out on the playground. And I noticed that the teachers would always kind of maneuver around this little girl if they were going to take her somewhere and grab her left hand, which had a hand, and avoid the right arm, which was amputated, had been amputated. And I saw two kids come up. One grabbed the left hand and the other grabbed what was left of the right arm, and off they went to play. And I thought, that's what this is all about. The notion that we can get past the fear of the unknown when we actually come in contact with it. And for kids with disabilities, that's crucial, Such good work. And when we look at the decades of work it's done in terms of developing families into leaders, teachers, certified with AA degrees and all that, when we look at what it's done for the children in terms of the Head Start that it gives them into life, it's incomparable.
Hi, I'm Maggie Malloy. I was an employee first of Child Development Centers and then of Child Parent Centers. I was a teacher for a year, education director for about a year, and then for 40 years I was the executive director of Child Parent Centers. One of the things Head Start was very strong on from the very beginning is that parents were powerful because they were parents. The public schools then withdrew from providing Head Start services. That money came back to CEO, and with Ron's leadership and CEO's leadership, they decided to delegate all of Head Start in the 5 counties to Child Development Centers, and Child Development Centers became Child Parent Centers at that time, because there had to be a grantee and we were a delegate agency. So the big decision to be made was, would we apply just to become the grantee for Head Start in Tucson, Pima County? You had to do a county. Or would we do the 5 counties? And we said, it's got to be the 5 counties. And so, of course, we were successful in doing that. This always makes me cry, which is no different than I've always been, right? So the most important thing about that was that we needed to be equally good everywhere. That has always mattered. So we were in churches because churches would let us in, and if we paid the utility bill, they wouldn't charge us any rent. Time for school to start and a church would kick us out. Well, that's the first time we had morning and afternoon sessions because we had nowhere for the children to go. And then that became our morning afternoon program. And also for us to get out of churches into permanent facilities. So we made the decision to partner with public schools. The thing that would be different about us and lots of other Head Start programs, we always used a different teaching team in the morning and in the afternoon because we wanted the children the best. And that was how we knew to get the best, is you needed people who were fresh for the children. A big deal was, of course, adding home base. Really added to the heart of Head Start because it brought parents in such a powerful way. It also, I think, created the foundation for early Head Start in terms of the relationship with the parent. That those were enormously important things.
Kathy Sutherland, and my title is Chief Operations Officer. I've been with CPC since August of 1995. During that time, there was a lot of expansion money. They had, from 91 to 94, the years before I started, there was about 10 new facilities that were built with expansion dollars, and we're kind of talking about expansion now. Well, then in 95, when I started, there were 5 new buildings. So part of my work was to make sure that the buildings got set up and they got all the supplies got delivered and everything was there, to make sure that they got licensed, to make sure that they had everything they needed to get started. In 1996, there were 4 new facilities. In 97, there were 2 new facilities, and those were out of town. They were Wilcox and Sierra Bonita, so that was a long ways to go. And then in 98, there were 4 new buildings, and that was Rio Rico, Pima, and a couple centers in town like Prince and another center. So in 99, there were 2 new facilities. Then in 99 and 2000, we bought this building. So we bought the admin building, and there was 2 major, or a 2-phase major renovation here in this building. And then in 2002, we did 2 more buildings, and that was Benson and Coronado. And then in 2003, we did 3 more buildings. So that's a lot of buildings.
My name is Sylvia Archuleta, and I've been working with Head Start for 21 years. It's satisfying because to see these families come in, and once they learn it, what Head Start's about, and they grasp it, then I see change in their lives. When they come here and they talk to the teachers and they see how their child has grown, and they start getting confidence, and they start going to school, and they start getting jobs. Head Start here is a little treasure